podcast deals with the concept when your attorney tells you there are no guarantees, or something along the lines of, this is a crapshoot. Now, this happens at several different key points when a lawyer represents you. Usually it happens when you sign the lawyer up, when you sign that person's retainer agreement. And you have sat down in the lawyer's office. A good sign-up consultation usually takes about an hour or so. Some of them are so obvious that it's such a good case that usually those are 5, 10, 15 minutes. But those are the exception more than the rule. The rule is generally a lawyer is going to ask you so many questions about your case, the theory, why you think it's a good case, what could go wrong in the case, everything like that. And at the end of the consultation, the lawyer is going to tell you something like, yeah, I think this is a good case, but understand there are no guarantees. And then later in the representation, this will come up again, this issue of what should I do? There's going to be a decision point. And the question is going to be, look, I've been offered X amount of money to settle this case, or I have offered this amount of money, if you're the defendant, to settle this case. The settlement, I don't know, is it worth it? Should I go to hearing? Should I go to trial? And the lawyer generally will say something like, there are no guarantees, or it's a crapshoot. Okay, and it could be any field of law, by the way. I mean, not necessarily employment law. It could be family law. My ex has demanded X amount of money in alimony. And the question is it worth just signing a settlement agreement to pay that X, or is it worth it to go to hearing and have a family law judge determine the outcome? The lawyer may say, well, it's a crapshoot, there are no guarantees. Okay, so you have to think about this. Why in the world, if that were literally true, if it's all a crapshoot anyway, why in the world would you go ahead and get an attorney with 25 years of experience, or 30, or 35? Get the cheapest lawyer you can find. I mean, it's a crapshoot anyway. I mean, none of these lawyers, I mean, you hire a Cravath, Swain, and Moore. I mean, this is like a posh Park Avenue firm in New York that I'm sure represents really high corporations and thousands of dollars an hour in billing. I mean, they don't say on their website, we're really good, but by the way, it's a crapshoot anyway, right? Nobody says that. So what does that mean? I mean, obviously, you have to understand that it's not a literal thing. What your lawyer really means when he or she says there are no guarantees, it's a crapshoot, means that the lawyer is looking at various factors that will predict to the best he or she can an outcome. Okay, the lawyer is using his or her 25 or 30 years of experience to compare your case to other cases before that judge, in that jurisdiction, in that circuit. The lawyer has researched typically how cases like yours have gone, and the lawyer is making a prediction on the more likely result. Okay, now keep in mind, that's not the same thing as saying he or she is predicting the likely result. The lawyer's not doing that. The lawyer is predicting the more likely result. And even with all that years of experience and knowledge and all that, still there's a number of unforeseen factors that can come up in a case. For example, a key witness disappears, and it can be figuratively disappears. Said he was going to back you, then decided not to, then decided not to talk to the company or participate or say what he knew or what he observed after all, because this employee was afraid of his job or losing his job. Then there's the company you've sued, which could have suffered some huge financial setback, and they didn't have insurance. So your case might have been worth $1 million, beforehand, or $500,000. Now it isn't because the company doesn't have any money to pay you. Or there's human subjectivity. The judge or jury either got it wrong or didn't see the case the way you saw it. So what's the message here? I think the message is when your lawyer says that, don't despair. I mean, you certainly don't want to retain an attorney who didn't say that. I mean, that's for sure. You do not want to retain an attorney who said, this is a guarantee. I guarantee you're going to win. I guarantee you're going to win X amount of money. You can't lose. No way. You don't want to retain that person. You want to retain someone who's honest. But you want to keep in perspective when the lawyer said that, what that meant. And if you think about it, it's similar to the way we make all kinds of decisions in our lives. Should I buy a house in a certain area? Well, I'm going to talk to a very experienced real estate agent. What will real estate likely do in that area? Does the person know for sure that will happen? No. Are there any guarantees about real estate? No. Should I lease a car? Should I buy a car at whatever stage of life I'm in or whatever situation I'm in? Same idea. What are the factors? Yes, there could be electric cars that could come out in the future very soon. Anything's possible. There could be some new invention. And absolutely. I mean, we don't know, or who's going to be president, or what the Senate's going to do in terms of fuel emissions. We have no way of predicting with absolute certainty what will happen. But we do make decisions based on the more likely outcome. So don't be afraid, don't be intimidated, and if you're at a decision point in your litigation, your employment situation, contact us. We've got the experience. We've got the know-how to help you make the best decision for your matter.